Do you know the right questions to ask before hiring a tax attorney? I'm Andrew Bosserman, tax attorney and founder of Boss Tax Law. And before becoming a tax attorney, I worked as an IRS agent, giving me unique insights from both sides of tax controversies. Today, I'm going to share something crucial that could save you thousands of dollars and countless headaches. I'm going to share 10 essential questions you should ask before hiring a tax attorney. Not all tax representation is created equal, something I saw when I was an IRS agent and dealing with lots of different representatives. And choosing the wrong attorney can lead to costly mistakes, missed deadlines, and unfavorable outcomes. So let's make sure you find the right advocate for your situation. Tax controversies are high stakes situations. Whether you're facing an IRS audit, collection action, or tax court litigation, the representation you choose can dramatically impact the outcome. In my practice, I've seen cases where clients came to me after another representative made critical errors that significantly complicated their situation and made it more expensive to resolve the problem. The right tax attorney doesn't just know tax law, they understand IRS procedures, have strategic experience in negotiations, and can navigate the complex administrative and judicial processes that tax controversies involve, especially given the fact that the IRS is currently losing workforce, probably operating under a reduced budget. It makes it even more critical. Today's questions I'm going to go through will help you identify the right professional for your specific situation. So the first question you should ask is, what percentage of your practice focuses specifically on tax controversy work? This might seem obvious, but many attorneys will handle tax controversies as just a small part of their practice. You want someone who specializes in tax disputes, not someone who occasionally handles them alongside estate planning, corporate work, or criminal defense. So you should look for an attorney who dedicates at least 50% and hopefully more of their practice to tax controversy matters. For example, I dedicate 100% of my practice to tax controversy matters. Red flags you want to watch out for are vague answers like, "We handle all types of cases," or an attorney who will handle tax controversies as a sideline rather than one of their main practice areas. Tax law is complex and constantly changing, so you need someone who lives and breathes this specific area. The second question you should ask is, have you personally handled cases similar to mine? Tax controversies come in many forms: audits, appeals, collections, tax court litigation, innocent spouse relief, voluntary disclosures, employment tax issues, and many more. Each requires different skills and approaches. So you should look for specific examples of similar cases they've handled without breaching client confidentiality. They should be able to describe their approach and outcomes generally. While specific experience with your type of case is valuable, don't immediately dismiss an attorney who hasn't handled your exact situation before. Many tax issues have unique elements, and an experienced tax controversy attorney with strong analytical skills and a solid understanding of IRS procedure can often adapt effectively to new scenarios. What's really more important is your potential attorney's demonstrated ability to navigate complex tax matters and their thoughtful approach to your specific situation. So red flags you want to watch out for is an attorney who can't provide examples of similar cases or who pivots or skirts around the issue to talking about different kinds of tax work. If they've never handled your specific issue before or can't explain how they will handle yours, they may be learning on your dime and may potentially make expensive mistakes in the process. The third question you should ask is, what is your experience with the IRS? Understanding how the IRS works internally gives an attorney significant advantages when representing clients. So you should look for former IRS employees or extensive experience interacting with different divisions of the IRS. They should be familiar with the Internal Revenue Manual, which is the internal procedures of the IRS, other IRS administrative procedures, and tax law. Red flags you want to watch out for are limited direct interaction with IRS personnel or a lack of understanding how different IRS divisions operate or how the IRS functions overall. If they're intimidated or even just unfamiliar with IRS procedures, they won't be effective advocates for you and will take a much longer time to get your issue resolved. The fourth question you should ask is, what specific strategy would you recommend for my situation? This question helps you evaluate their analytical approach and strategic thinking. So you want to look for thoughtful analysis rather than immediate solutions. A good tax attorney will ask probing questions about your situation before recommending a strategy and should be able to explain the pros and cons of different approaches. And oftentimes, some further analysis into your situation is warranted before the best strategy can be decided upon. You want to watch out for one-size-fits-all approaches or guarantees of specific outcomes. Be especially wary of anyone promising they can sell your tax debt for pennies on the dollar without thoroughly analyzing your tax records and financial situation. Effective tax resolution requires customized strategies, not just cookie-cutter approaches from large firms. So the fifth question you should ask is, what is your fee structure? Understanding how you'll be billed helps avoid surprises and ensures the representation fits your budget. You want to look for a clear explanation of hourly rates, flat fees, or hybrid arrangements, whatever the attorney uses or quotes for your case. The attorney should be able to provide a realistic estimate of total costs based on similar cases they've handled. And if it's a flat fee or hybrid arrangement, you should know up front how much you're going to pay or potentially pay. Red flags to watch out for include reluctance to provide specifics, pressure to pay large upfront retainers, or vague answers about potential total costs. While tax controversies can have unexpected developments, an experienced attorney should be able to provide a reasonable cost estimate based on similar cases they've worked. The sixth question you should ask is, who will be working on my case? Many firms have multiple attorneys and staff members who may handle different aspects of your case. You want to look for clarity about exactly who will be handling different aspects of your case, including which attorney will call the IRS or attend meetings with the IRS or represent you in court. Red flags you want to watch out for are meeting with a senior attorney for the initial consultation by having your case primarily handled by unsupervised junior attorneys or staff. There's nothing wrong with team approaches to tax controversies, but you should know who's actually working on your case and who will represent you before the IRS, and any experienced tax attorney should be willing to share how exactly your case will be worked at their firm. The seventh question you want to ask is, how will we communicate throughout my case? So effective communication is essential during tax controversies because they can take months or even years to resolve. The IRS normally does not move very quickly. What to look for are clear communication protocols, including expected response times, regular update schedules, and direct contact information. Red flags you want to watch out for are vague answers about accessibility, indications of limited availability, or communication primarily through assistants rather than attorneys themselves. Tax controversies can be stressful, and you deserve an attorney who will give you regular updates on your case and be reasonably accessible when you have questions or concerns. The eighth question you should ask is, what is your approach to working with the IRS? Different attorneys have different styles of interaction with the IRS, and this can significantly impact your case. So you should look for a strategic balance between cooperation and advocacy. The most effective representatives know when to collaborate with the IRS and when to firmly advocate for their client's position. Red flags you should watch out for include either extreme of those that I just mentioned. So overly aggressive stances that create unnecessary conflict or confrontation, or excessive deference to the IRS that fails to protect your interests. Most successful resolutions typically come from strategic cooperation, not unnecessary or unwarranted confrontation or being combative. The ninth question you should ask is continuing education. How do you stay current with changing tax laws? Tax law changes constantly throughout legislation, regulations, or even court decisions. You want to look for an attorney who has specific continuing education efforts, professional memberships, or publications they follow to stay current with tax controversies. Red flags to watch out for include minimal investment in ongoing tax education or vague answers about how they stay updated. Tax law is one of those areas of the law where it's way too complex and changes too frequently for anyone to rely solely on what they learned in law school or early in their career, or just learn it right before your case. The 10th and final question you should ask is, can you provide references from similar cases? So past client experiences can provide valuable insight into what working with this attorney will be like. What you want to look for is a willingness to connect you with past clients with similar issues while respecting confidentiality. Many firms also have testimonials or reviews they can share, oftentimes anonymized, but still will give you an idea of the types of cases they've worked. Red flags to watch out for include inability to provide any references or testimonials from past clients. Confidentiality is important and is one of the hallmarks of an attorney-client relationship, but experienced tax attorneys should have clients willing to speak about their experiences. So in conclusion, taking time to thoroughly evaluate potential tax attorneys isn't just due diligence. It's an investment in the success of your case. The right representation can save you money, stress, and potentially years of dealing with the IRS. So at Boss Tax Law, we welcome these questions and believe informed clients make the best partners in resolving tax controversies successfully. And if you're facing a tax controversy and looking for representation, we're happy to answer all these questions and more during a consultation. So don't forget to subscribe to the Boss Tax Law channel for more tax controversy strategies and insights. Thanks so much for watching. And remember, the right representation makes all the difference in tax controversies.